Judge denied bail for suspended paramedic Christopher Carroll after a court hearing today where the state came armed with details on the current charges and a whole new list of additional allegations too, including that Mr. Carroll had dreams of earning a living by posting these videos online on sites like OnlyFans.
I would be remiss to say that he wouldn't be regretful for something. That would be an accurate statement.
Defense attorney Seth Oken talked to us outside District Court in Towson Thursday, shortly after his client was denied bail. Christopher Carroll, a 36-year-old suspended paramedic with the Baltimore County Fire Department, accused of filming himself at work in his work uniform, purposefully leaving his bodily fluids, including urine, all over the workplace, on his supervisor's keyboard and communal coffee creamer in a fridge at the Public Safety Building in Towson, and in the large ice maker in Fire Station 2 in Pikesville, where prosecutors say he urinated into the ice, wiped himself on a scoop, and used the scoop to mix the urine throughout the ice in the ice maker before making a thumbs-up gesture to the camera. In court, the defense said Carroll has no criminal record and self-surrendered to police this week after his dad drove him down from Pennsylvania. How's he doing? What did he talk to you about?
I can't talk to you, I'm sorry.
Were you shocked by some of the allegations that were read out loud in court today? The dad didn't want to talk about the 23 criminal charges and the long list of additional allegations that came out during the bail hearing. The state said there's more video showing Carroll contaminating a carton of orange juice, hand soap in the bathroom, somebody's chapstick, a pot of chili, a can of vegetables, an air conditioner vent in the firehouse, and a can of scented room spray in his doctor's office waiting room.
I would tell those parties and the people that were involved, one of the first things that Internal Affairs and the state's attorney's office was interested in would be his medical records to make sure that he doesn't have any sexually transmitted diseases or anything like that. That waiver has been submitted to them directly. They will handle the dissemination of that information as they see fit.
The defense said Mr. Carroll is in, quote, heavy outpatient intensive therapy for mental health. The state told the court that Mr. Carroll's DNA was found in the coffee creamer on his supervisor's keyboard, and they say they identified 18 people who regularly use that ice machine in Station 2, the firehouse, until it was taken out of service. Live in Towson, I'm Kate Amarup, WBAL TV 11 News.